Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar, Power of the Inbox, How to Grow Your Business with Email Marketing. I'm Janet Flaw with the Louisville Small Business Development Center, also known as the Louisville SBDC. We are partnering with SCORE of Louisville to bring you today's event. Both the SBDC and SCORE offer no-cost business assistance in the Louisville region. Before we get started today, we just want to pause for those still connecting to the webinar, allow them a moment to work out any issues they might be having. If you are able to hear us but not see us, please try connecting via another web browser. So if you'll just kind of relaunch the webinar and see if that'll help you. We are recording the event and we'll send everyone a link for future viewing. So if you are having technical difficulties, don't worry about it. We will, like I said, record it and send it to you. While we give everyone a moment, we'd like to share a little about the Louisville Small Business Development Center. So we're located here at 614 West Main Street in downtown. We, by the way, cover 9-county region that starts in Jefferson County and Bullitt County and kind of stretches east up to Carroll and Owen counties. And we have 3 staff members that cover those 9 counties essentially. They all have extensive backgrounds in business consulting, and they also have over 25 years of combined service to the Small Business Development Center itself. So on your screen, you'll see our whole team. We have myself, I'm on the far right, I'm Janet. Next to me is Dave Etkin, our center director. Next to him is Valerie Henderson, and next to her is Tony Sears. Valerie and Tony are management consultants for the SBDC. We are funded by the U.S. Small Business Administration as well as the University of Kentucky. A lot of folks don't realize that we get a portion of our funding from the university. We also receive additional support from the City of Louisville and Greater Louisville, Inc. We offer assistance in various areas, including like market research, feasibility studies, business plan development. We help with financial modeling and projections for your business. And we also help in identifying pre-venture and growth capital that will meet your specific business needs, because not every business needs $300,000 to start. Some people just need $10,000 to start, but we can help with both ends of the spectrum there. If you would visit our website at louisvillesmallbusiness.com, you can request one-on-one assistance and see our other upcoming events. In addition, you can connect with us socially via Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search Louisville SBDC on each of these platforms to connect. We do want to say that before I introduce our guest speaker, just to save all your questions till the end. That way we can get through all the slides and we'll be a little bit more efficient about things. And there's our guest. We're welcoming guest presenter Aaron Wesley Means. He is CEO of Activate Business Solutions. Aaron is a communications specialist and internet marketer. He's a 4-time award winner, including Solution Provider of the Year in the Southeast for Constant Contact. He has a BA in communication from Arizona State University. That's Sun Devils, is that right, Aaron? Activate has trained thousands of businesses via chambers of commerce through seminars, webinars, and conferences, while delivering a full suite of custom internet marketing services and solutions for businesses and orgs, I like that, businesses and orgs of all shapes and sizes. So we want to say, welcome, Aaron.
Thank you, Janet.
I'll let you go ahead and share your desktop. I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, super, here I come. Let me share my screen. And it is the Sun Devils, by the way.
There you go, okay.
And let me know that all is good here with the slideshow.
We're seeing it, yeah. There you
Great.
go.
It is the Sun Devils. And one of my best friend that I grew up 3 houses down from came and visited me one spring break. And he loved it so much that he transferred from OU and never left, and then married a girl that he met there. And he now has 5 kids and lives still there in Arizona. And he regularly texts me screenshots of his weather report throughout the cooler months. And so I love North Carolina to death, but I do miss those 65-degree, nice, cool, breezy mornings. So yeah,
I can imagine.
Yes, thank you. And thanks, Janet. It's really great to meet. It was great to meet you, Janet, online and connect through the Constant Contact connection. And I'm just going to dig right in here so that I make sure I get through as much as possible. Uh, just for those of you who are attending, we're really happy you're here. And I want to maybe set the table a little bit for the reason why. And by the way, Janet, if anything goes wonky, just give me a shout. Just want to set the table for why maybe I'm connected through with Janet and the SBDC and SCORE. And it really has to do with one of the sponsors, which is Constant Contact. And so many of you have seen, heard of Constant Contact. Maybe some of you use it or have used it or know people that have used it for their email marketing. And that it's essentially Constant Contact's flagship product is and has always been email marketing. And they were sort of one of the pioneers of email marketing in the late 90s, early 2000s. And they really set the tone and the table for a lot of the companies that came after and sort of copied their approach. Well, what's really cool about Constant Contact, y'all, is that a tech company typically thinks very techy. And in the case of Constant Contact, what was really neat was about 10 years ago, if not more, they figured out that a really neat approach for the people that would want to understand how to use email marketing or social media marketing to the fullest would be to actually teach them and train them and educate them on all the best practices. And can you believe it? To do it for free, and in many cases in person, and when needed through distance learning, exactly like this webinar. So Constant Contact really is really cool because they went against the grain, and when they became this massive mega offering for small businesses and nonprofits across the US and beyond, they doubled back and they said, you know what we really need to do is we really need to take this and let's simplify it, and let's teach people for free, and let's help people for free, and let's put incentives and discounts and enable people. So that is how Constant Contact is connected in with the SBDC. And I was delighted to see that SCORE is included as well as the partner, because guess what, y'all? There's 4 national partners. The 4 partners are SBDC, SCORE, United Way, which everyone's heard of, and Chambers of Commerce, the national network of Chambers of Commerce. So this is me, and we're going to get into the content in just a moment, but I'm going to give you a quick nutshell so you can kind of understand and appreciate maybe what's how I got involved in training this stuff. About 10 years ago, I was in the rat race in Washington, D.C., and I was definitely not loving it, sitting in a cube in the concrete jungle, and decided I really wanted to work for myself. Actually, really more like a dozen years ago. So I started working on the internet, trying to really figure out how to use the internet to leverage to grow a business. And I had a pretty much virtual business. And so after a little while of getting some traction, I realized it was just so silly of me to go to be sitting in this tiny little condo on the Beltway when I wasn't even, playing that game anymore. I was at home, really studying the internet day to day. So I ran for the hills of Asheville, North Carolina, and that was 10 years ago. And so I got down here to Asheville about 10 years ago with my lovely wife, and had kind of convinced her, hey, why don't you become an entrepreneur as well? Why don't you work for yourself? Why don't you have a small business? Why don't you become a dog groomer, and instead of working for someone else, work for yourself? And she said, after a little while, she said, all right, I'll do it. And then you know what I realized, y'all? I realized that I had just accidentally signed myself up to manage this small business. So the reason for the story is I want to really make sure everyone gets the point that I found myself in the shoes of a small business owner unwittingly. I had really set myself up there. In fact, we don't even live in Asheville, to really make it even sort of more funny. We live about an hour from Asheville, out in the Smoky Mountains in a tiny little sleepy town called Brevard, North Carolina, the land of the waterfalls. And so here I was in Brevard, 4,999 people, never owned a small business in my life, having to figure out how in the world I was going to be able to market and how different it was. First I was in corporate, then I was in this virtual business ownership, And then here I am in this small town with a brand new small business, and I had no idea what I was doing. So that was about 7 years ago. And you know what I did, y'all? I went down to my SBC, I went down to my Chamber of Commerce, and I connected with all these groups, and I started going to constant contact topics. Can you believe it? I was literally attending these exact topics because I wanted to know what it would take for me to make sense online of a small business, how to promote it, how should what kind of message should I be using, what channels should I be spending and focusing my time on. And after a little while of coming to these events and learning more and learning how to market small business, I noticed that a lot of people in my community in Brevard and beyond needed a lot of help with internet marketing for their business. And so I actually created my company Activate as a result of the need for other small businesses and nonprofits here in my region for extra help. And before long, Constant Contact came and they said, hey, we know that you've done some business leadership stuff, you've done some corporate training stuff, and we know that you've been coming to these events a lot and talking to the one trainer that we have in the Carolinas, and would you be willing to do more? So now that was 5 years ago, y'all. So now you've got my whole history. And at some point, I just fell in love with figuring out the puzzle of helping small businesses get traction on the internet, because it's different. It's much different than big business or medium-sized business, small to medium business, and nonprofits, by the way. I'm sure there's nonprofits on the line today. Maybe some of y'all are nonprofit, but not by choice. Oh, just kidding. I mean, that just joking. Usually that joke gets a good laugh at the in-person seminars, so I figured I'd risk it. But nonprofits as well, how do we, where should we spend our time? Where should we spend our energy? Where should we spend our resources? Where should we put our heaviest and clearest messaging? And is there a best practice to this? And so what I think I'm going to do here for about 3 or 4 minutes, and we're going to get into the email portion, I want to set the table for explaining what options exist for marketing on the internet. And I started doing this a couple years ago after doing these seminars for years and years and years, y'all, all over the Carolinas, webinars for SBCs, SBDCs, SCORE, webinars for groups all over. I mean, after just tons of these presentations, I started figuring out that it would be much more helpful for people to understand how email marketing should fit into their approach if they understood the internet at large. Because there's so much mystery and it's unnecessary. There's so much mystique and there's so much confusion. And I'll tell you what, it has a lot to do with how much noise there is. Everything is so frenetic. Everyone's always telling you do this, do that, and it's always changing. So if you could see my slide here, I want you to really dissect this in your mind. And I want you to think of examples of things that you see on the internet. Think about what you see on your cell phone. What do you see on your iPad? What do you see on your laptop? What do you see when the server's going to get the check at lunch and you pull out your smartphone and start looking at the internet? And I'm telling you what, no matter what you come up with, when you think about the things that you see online, they drop into one of these 3 buckets. Mobile apps, by the way, are mobile websites. Okay, so those go in that bucket. Landing pages, websites, any kind of advertisement usually takes you pay-per-click to a website, to a landing page. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, all of these social media channels that my nieces tell me I'm not even cool enough to know about yet. Apparently they're out there. Not cool enough, I guess. And, I'm supposed to be this, hip person teaching this stuff, right? And my 15-year-old and 16-year-old niece just roll their eyes at me. But social media, whatever you can think of, drop it in that bucket. And then you've got email inbox. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to belabor the point, but I want you to look carefully at this slide. And I want you to understand that anything on the internet can be dropped into one of these 3 buckets. Now, here's the more important question. What do people visit online most frequently? Well, the answer is they visit social media and email most frequently. They visit websites when they have a need to, or if we have done a good job of maybe sending them there through the messaging we're putting out or campaigns or driving traffic ourselves to send people to our website. But if, as far as pulling out your phone or your iPad or your laptop in the morning, where are people going? What are they doing? Okay, this part is not a mystery. They're checking social media and they're checking email. And they're doing this multiple times a day. Now, if you're on the webinar today and you're here to learn, strategies and how to, really understand the place of email, but you hear me describing behavior that you can't relate to, as a small business consultant, let me encourage you to break through that and kind of try to let that go. For example, a lot of people come to my seminars and they're very much not having fun with marketing. They don't want to do the emailing. They don't want Facebook. They don't like what it's become. It's taken over. They don't like everyone staring at their phones all the time. And I get it. I really do get it. But for the next half hour, 40 minutes, I want to give you actionable intelligence on how to cut through the noise and make a difference for your business on the internet. And here's what it comes down to. People look at social media and email multiple times a day on their cell phones or their iPads. It's mostly mobile devices. Now, here's the next logical question. And this is the really kingpin point, okay? When they visit these channels, will they see you there? Well, we know that they don't go to websites for no reason. But we do know they go to social media and email, usually in the morning, and then again, multiple times throughout the day. Now, here's the question, y'all. Are they going to see you? Okay. Well, they're not going to go to your website for no reason. And are they going to see you on social media? Okay. They're probably not not going to see you. The reason is social media is a kind of a fickle game. Now, it certainly should be part of your marketing approach. It should be, it's a live two-way engagement channel. It's incredible. However, as soon as social media kind of started having its heyday around the 2010 mark, all these channels started wising up to what they had, and they started changing the game. They started changing the algorithm of how many posts are seen by how many followers. They started cutting way back on visibility. Many of them launched ad platforms so that we could pay to play. Facebook said they would never have an ad platform, and look at them now. Multi-billion-dollar ad platform. So this is kind of a harsh moment for us. They're not going to go to your website for no reason. You might post on Facebook, but the odds are against them seeing it because of the algorithms. And Instagram, who was the sweet darling for a while, Instagram got snatched up by Facebook 3 or 4 years ago. And they have quickly moved their algorithm into place there. Now Instagram has an algorithm where you're not seeing everything. LinkedIn has an algorithm. And more importantly, folks, they can change these rules whenever they want. They can change everything whenever they want. So it's sort of one of these family members. It's going to be around forever. You may as well love them and understand the value. But do we depend on them? You can't. We cannot depend on a social media channel to be our savior. Okay, our business marketing needs more than that. Well, process of elimination. They're not going to go to your website for no reason. They are going to go to social media, but the odds are mostly against the chances of them seeing a heavy amount of our content. But they are going to check email, and guess what, y'all? Up to 5 times a day on these mobile devices. Now, are they going to see your email? Boom. Now we're there. 90% deliverability rate and 20% average open rate across all businesses. And visibility is head and shoulders way above everything else on the internet. The power of the inbox is where we're going with this, okay? So let's talk about what is email marketing in 2019. What is it? Well, here's a good definition. And I want you to pay careful attention to the words that I put in red. It took me a while to find a red that didn't hurt my eyes, so I hope this is okay. There were just like crazy reds everywhere in my PowerPoint. So this was more of a maroon, but I want to get the point across that if you look at these templates and you look at this definition, I want you to pay attention to the red letters or the red words, because guess what those words represent? They represent the missing components that most small business and nonprofits assume is an email marketing definition. What I mean by this is, if you take out these keywords, you get the answer that most people would give me when they sat down with me for lunch to talk about their marketing. Aaron, I want to talk about this email. I've heard email is the king. Email is great. Yep. Aaron, I came to your seminar. It's fantastic. All right. Yep. And you know what? I've been doing email for a while. Oh, you have? Yeah. You know what? No one's really paying attention to me. Or no one's really opening my email. No one's clicking anything. Or I've been thinking about it, but I know other businesses that are doing it and no one's getting that great of a result. Well, y'all, the problem with most of our, what I'm going to call default approach, our default approach as small businesses is that we're going to take our one directional marketing that we would use on a bulletin board or a billboard on the side of the road or a radio jingle or maybe a flyer or a postcard, a newspaper ad. You getting my drift? Offline marketing. The messages that we would construct in order to penetrate the market with offline marketing, one directional messaging. What we do is, most of us, we come to the internet, we sit down at our computer, we crack our knuckles, and we proceed to sort of slap on there what we would put on a billboard or on a postcard. Let's put on Facebook what we would put in a print media. Let's email out another email telling them not to forget how good we are at what we do, and here's how you can find out more. Y'all, this is the kiss of death. And it's no wonder why so many businesses don't really understand how to get traction. You can't just deliver email to an audience containing info that you want them to know. The whole key to this email marketing success, to actually get growth in your business, it's about getting their attention and keeping their attention. And you do that by delivering professional look and feel. You do that not by just emailing your list in air quotes. If you could see me right now, air quotes. I'm just going to email my list. Well, how about let's make sure that they're an interested audience. And instead of just sending out what you want them to know, maybe start thinking about what would be incredibly valuable to them that you could email. And of course, how does it look and feel? Everything is about how simple and easy and how does it look and feel. And everyone's looking on these small mobile devices nowadays. So, we want to make sure that we understand the email experience should be short, sweet, easy to read, easy to glance at, easy to discern. And, whereas maybe 10 years ago, everyone was looking at it on desktop, and maybe it was this whole long newsletter with multiple columns. So, email is the dominant app. When we have studied what are people looking at on their smartphones, we noticed that email was almost like a keep your foot on the home base. You might pull out a smartphone and you might look at Facebook, but then you're going to glance at that email notification to see, hey, is that thing read? How many numbers are there? How many unread messages are there? Maybe you pull it out to text, but you glance at email. Or my favorite, when you go out to lunch and the server goes to get the check, take a look around the table at how many cell phones, smartphones come out of the pockets and the purses, if they weren't already out throughout lunch sitting on the table. And so what's happening, y'all, is that we are looking at email in these short, quick bursts. In fact, we're looking at everything in short, quick bursts on mobile devices. So this PowerPoint that I'm doing today, it actually is almost unrecognizable to 5 years ago. Because now you've got 70% of people digesting your web, social, and email content on these little mobile devices, okay? Now, I know this is not us. You know, earlier I was trying to let us off the hook. I know none of us would do this. Chuckle. I do it every once in a while. You know, people are checking their phone like maniacs. And this is what I said earlier, you know, with the whole kind of Debbie Downer on social media. You know, you want to play the game and you want to build a following. And by the way, Facebook does let you grow a following organically. They didn't just, you know, completely eliminate that feature. It just that the algorithm has to learn over time. People that engage you need to keep seeing your stuff, and they continue to widen that berth. The average small business doesn't have the time or patience to grow a Facebook following by posting great content every single day for 2.5 years. But the average small business can send an email that gets a 90% plus deliverability rate compared to a 2 to 5%, which is the basic Facebook algorithm. So really pretty cut and dry here. You know, have your website as your home base, have your house in order, so to speak, have it be functional, attractive, have it meet the need of the visitor, give them the information they want. Use social media as your two-way engagement platform, have fun with it, grow your following, but don't depend on it. Y'all, your kingpin waymarker for your visibility on the internet is the inbox. It works everywhere. And they have done plenty of studies. And by the way, we're going to make sure, Janet and I are going to make sure that you all get these slides. Everyone's going to get a copy of this in an ebook format that you can click through. And you're going to be able to go back, like along the bottom here, you can go look at the study, the litmus test showing the 3-time conversion rate, ROI, etc. Now, I like to give you examples as well. So let's get into some best practices, and let me show you why these best practices even matter. Cotton Classic is really cool. They figured out not only how to kind of extract sales from their list, but they also figured out how to get a higher average sale by cultivating a good subject line, a good personality to their marketing voice, keeping their emails and their offers very simple and clean, short, to the point. You know, and so much of this, y'all, as much as I would like to say that it takes some sort of ingenious internet marketing mind to really make a difference, it comes down to impressions, and it comes down to the images and the graphics and the feeling that people get. Even something as simple as this little baby step. On the left, we've got some content sent out through normal old text email that many of us kicked off, started using for our business. And, you know, maybe some of us on there today are still using it, you know, just by necessity. But over here on the right, you can see that a branded colored template for the Austin Chamber can be set and forget, and they can just fill in the content into the info blocks there. And it looks and feels so much better. Let's go further. Yeah, on the left or the right. I love this one. What we're determining with a lot of marketing testing is that images are the language. People don't read the internet the way they read a book anymore. When they were looking at the internet on a larger device, like a laptop or computer as a full-time device, they would read the internet like they would read a book. And what I mean by that is they would look at the biggest text first. They would glance around for any kind of identifiable photo, and then they would drop to the normal body content. And you know what, y'all? Mobile devices have shattered this, and they have put back together a normal routine. The average person looks at the internet in what's called scanning mode, SCAN. And we're scanning to see what catches our interest. We're not ready to put the energy into reading. We want to scan. And guess what we're looking for? Pictures or videos that capture our attention. And all that we do is we subconsciously decide based on that vibe, hey, this is interesting enough to me that I'm actually going to read some words. So on the screen here is a cycling shop, and on the left side is their content in a normal text email sent in a giant bulk through Gmail, to BCC, who knows if it'll even make it there. Most of the time the filters just stop the delivery of these bulk emails now. On the right, y'all, it's the same content. Can you believe it? The same content. And this one on the right does not take graphic design specialty. It does not take techie skills, et cetera, et cetera. So we want to be considering how our marketing looks and feels across platforms. Our website, our email, our social should all be in sync. And how easy is it and how attractive is it on mobile devices? Let me just pause for a moment and let you know that we're going to be taking questions at around 12:45 or 12:50. So even though I'm burning through some slides really fast, I'm going to be answering any custom questions that you have as well. Okay, so don't worry, and go ahead and get ready. We'll have you type those into the chat box when we're ready. So, using a platform like Constant Contact or any good solid email marketing platform should give you templating systems to take the pressure off graphic design. They should help you reinforce your brand identity. They should help you provide a way for people to manage their own subscriptions. This is part of the FCC anti-spam. The FCC says people need to be able to decide for themselves whether they want to hear from you in the inbox. They should be able to subscribe themselves to your list. They should be able to remove themselves from your list. And so as we grow our list, we want to be thinking, this is your marketing asset. Your website, we thought our website was a marketing asset. And what happened was mobile devices came out, and everybody who thought they were set for life was told that if they didn't get a mobile-friendly website pronto, their website was going to be de-ranked on Google. Remember that nightmare? That was only 8 years ago, rather. So even websites are not our asset. And social media, we have no control. We play in their sandbox. So this email list is your only real true marketing asset. So you want to be collecting at events, during transactions, sidewalk signs, fish bowls, trade shows. I'm not sure if anyone's done this, but these QR codes that are, in my opinion, unnecessarily unattractive. They could make these prettier, couldn't they? But very cool, convenience wins. If you want to know how to really jump the line and get traction with marketing, simple, easy, short, fast, image-rich, convenient. People want to be able to scan on their cell phone a QR code and all of a sudden magically be added to your list just with one step. In fact, I won't belabor the point, but do you all know that 5 years ago, the average internet marketer or the average internet user would complete up to 3 steps to accomplish an intended desired action, like maybe subscribe to a list or join a club or RSVP or claim a deal or a coupon, we would do up to 3 steps. 4 years ago, we would do up to 2 steps. 2 years ago, it went down to 1 step. We are convenience driven, whether we like it or we don't like it, or we're indifferent. So you want to be thinking 70% of your audience is walking around with these smartphones and they're doing just about everything on them. I mean, I really can't stress that enough. So can people join your list quickly and easily? Can they, come by your store, drop in a business card, scan a QR code? Can they be automatically added where they don't even have to do anything, just through purchasing? And before I jump off this point, I want to make sure that we understand that this entire topic today is about value. It's about providing them value. Email marketing is not about building a list of people that you can just splash market to them everything you want them to know so you can get to your goals. Email marketing is about your direct line of sight to people where they're most visible on the internet and providing them with an exceptional amount of value. Value is the key. Value creates the impression. It's authentic. It has them lean in. So create expectations. Join our list for insider tips, tricks. Join our list for special discounts, special lunch. Join our list to receive a series of videos on how to. Now, I can't do any topic on email or social without making sure that we spend a slide or two on this, because this is kind of the heartbeat. I could teach email marketing boot camps for 9 hours and they could walk out and and I have done and I do. And y'all know, they could get home and they could know every single detail of how to build the best email, or they could understand all the ins and outs of social media finesse. But the heart and soul is, what in the world do I send? What do you send? With a capital WHAT, what? Now, for the purposes of time, I want to share with you that the number one myth in internet marketing is that you must create your own content. You see, many of us have heard the phrase for years now, content is king. Any of y'all heard that? Content is king. Content is king. You got to have the best content. Well, guess what? It scares us to death. Because while we already have a to-do list of 10 things that we're running late on, we've agreed to have the website, we've agreed to do the email marketing, we've agreed to do the social media game, and now all of a sudden we got to talk about content and making videos and blogging and doing all this crazy stuff? No, thank you. And it's against our nature. They've done psychological research on the personality types of small business owners and nonprofit owners, managers. And do you all know that creative on demand only applies to about 2 out of 10? That means if you wake up on a Monday morning and you realize that you haven't done anything on social media and somebody says to you, it's time to send out an email and do an Instagram post, and we need it to be really beautiful and really have a nice succinct message and capture the essence of this RSVP that we want for the picnic next month. Go. Most of us stand there and go, huh? I got to think about this for a while. What? Okay, wait. What picture of, and then what should the email be like? Creative on demand is not our go-to. Only about 2 out of 10 people have that. Now, we may have other strengths, organizational strengths, budgeting, attention to detail, all these things that make us great at our business. But creative on demand may not be one of those things. So how is this fair that we're supposed to play the social media game? We're supposed to do the email marketing. Content is king. And then we go, the tires screech. Oh my gosh, I have to now create this content and everyone has to love it. Well, no, that's the myth. The myth is you got to create it. The truth is most of us can just curate it. And curate is a fancy word for finding it and sharing. For example, what stuff would your list or your followers like to see and hear? You don't have to figure this out alone and then create it. Go and follow other blogs that are relevant to your industry. Interview other people that are experts. Go onto social media yourself and find and save and bookmark posts that you think are interesting or curious that people in your following would react to. In fact, most social media platforms even have a little bookmark save feature now. So I can save Facebook posts, save tweets, and I subscribe to blogs, and blogs come to me. And I'm not creating my own content most of the time either. I'm out there looking for what are the marketing headlines that my followers would need to know. I want them to see me as an information kiosk. They don't sit around and worry that I created it myself. So content curating takes all the pressure off. And you really don't even have to spend much time on this. You just do life like normal. Do life. Do your normal thing. Check your email, check social, check the web. When you come across something that rings a bell for the business, just save it. And now every week you can go and you could say, well, what would I put on social and what would I send out as an email? Instead of beating your head into the desk and worrying, is this going to be good enough? I got to create this content. Content is king. No. Turn the tables. Oh, I saved 10 things that I saw last week. What are the best 5? And now you're in that position of power. Okay. I love this because there are probably some real estate agents on the line. If I know my demographics of people that attend the small business events, there's probably some real estate. And y'all know, what happens if you go look for a house on the internet? You start getting about 1,001 emails from everyone under the sun who's your new best friend. And guess what happens tomorrow morning or every Thursday morning? Tons of MLS listings. So I can give you a wonderful example about content. Most people assume that they're going to get 1,001 emails trying to sell them on a house and the next best deal, and this price just got dropped, and do this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, providing them value and setting up yourself apart from your competitors in the most visible spot possible, which is the inbox, lets real estate agents really strike a tune. Now, this gentleman here, David Griffin and Company, he didn't even write these articles. He curated these articles. He put himself into the mind of what would a new home buyer be thinking. Well, they'd want to know about architecture, about trends in the market, and of course, at the bottom, view listings. So build your emails short, simple, sweet. Stay away from the multi-column nowadays. Less text is more. Your fonts should be really never smaller than 12 anymore. Now that people are looking at mobile devices more than desktop, you really want that's 14, 16, 18, and 20 fonts. Here's some examples that I want to share with you. This is a nice app that I use that helps me track investments. And their emails are never longer than what I've got on my screen. Now, I don't mean that you have to go this far with it. You can have multiple things in your email. That's cool. Just remember that most people don't keep scrolling. They mostly scroll once or twice with their thumb, and that's about it. I guess maybe they get tired, it's so much work to move your thumb the third time. But, here's a food delivery service. I thought their email was interesting. That's about as short as it is. Anyone heard of Apple? Here's Apple's what's going on in the world of news email. One picture. This is called a featured image. One headline. One teaser snippet. And that's it. You really can't go wrong. Now, by the way, y'all, this is good news. Because, again, 5 or 10 years ago, the newsletter era meant you got to email them only once a month. And you got to email them 5 or 6 things. And it's got to be this big, long thing. And it can be a headache. Nowadays, y'all, we really want to be able to email our list a couple times a month or more and have it be short, quick, simple, beautiful, attractive, simple. I can't say simple enough. And did you know, by the way, and that's good. Yeah, you can start typing in your questions if you want to. I'm going to go about 3 or 4 minutes and then give you some information here. Did you know that you can also publish your email? That's right, publish your email onto social media. It's a wonderful way to grow your list because people can click on the link, open your email on the web, look at your email as if they were a subscriber, and click a button to join the list. Really cool. And the thing I love most about email marketing is I get a full report card. You know, as a small business owner myself, I want to know what's working. I want to know what's not working. I want to know how to tweak, how to change, how to update, how to dial in the best result possible. So when I go in and send an email to 3,000 or 4,000 people, or even 500, I want to know how many did I send it to, how many of them opened. Was my subject line good? Was my subject line unique? Was it curious? Was it fun? The average open rate across all industries in the United States for small business is about 20%. It's actually lower, it's about 19%. I like to always coach and teach attendees and clients to get that open rate up to 30% and higher. And the average click-through rate is about 8% to 10%. I like to push that up to 20, 25%. And click-through rate is just a fancy phrase for after they open your email, did they click stuff? You know, because unless you're just giving them all the information in the email, which you probably don't want to do nowadays, are they taking action is the question. And should everyone, last but not least, should everyone on your list get the same email? Now, I don't want to go crazy and overwhelm people if you're new to this email thing. So, you know, maybe let some of this go over your head if you want to. But nowadays, we can segment our list into multiple different lists. You know, this spa figured that a couple days a week they were having their bookings were too light in the afternoon, but they didn't want to send 50% off offers to everyone in their entire database. So instead, they pulled a little segment of people that have been to the spa before, but not in the past 6 months. Sent out a very special targeted segmented email and collected signups to fill those empty spots. I'm going to leave this in the PowerPoint for you. It's a little checklist that you all can go through yourself, all the best practices about an email. So let me give you, and then we're going to do questions. Let me give you a 2-minute demo. And just so you know, no, this is not me. I have recorded this. No one is this fast. It's going to be really funny when you see how fast it is. But I like to be able to show everybody a quick tour in about 90 seconds, okay? So here we go, just opening a template. We can name it anything we want. And again, we're going to be making our email short and sweet. So most of the things that you'll do will be actually deleting or removing. We can brand our email, different colors to match our logos. We can add pictures and logos with one click. Good old copy and paste to change our content to what we want it to be. Nice big juicy fonts. And from here, we can copy and paste our links to our pictures, to our buttons. You got to have those buttons. And of course, to our social media, which we can also just copy and paste our links to. So you all really can do this. It is literally that simple. I've had people that were confused about how to approach email marketing, and within a short amount of time, they were able to execute emails in 10 minutes. So just want to put an offer on the table for you, and then we'll answer your questions. This is a nationwide offer available to SBDC and sponsors and SCORE mentoring. Constant Contact has an offer that allows you to get 3 or 4 massively helpful marketing packages for free. And this is for just signing up for Constant Contact at an already discounted rate. So before I get to your questions, everyone on the webinar will be eligible to receive the following. By signing up for Constant Contact, you will be able to get help getting your lists, your account set up for you and your list uploaded. And believe it or not, with no strings attached, we will literally professionally design an email template for you that is matched to your brand. You can use this forever for all your emails. You will never have to design a custom brand template. This is done for you. Usually cost a couple $100. Again, this is part of the SBDC and the SCORE partnership with Constant Contact. And I also threw in free coaching, free Zoom sessions with me, free webinars with me, one-on-one private, and I can kind of be your virtual coach. I have a lot of fun with that. And you can maintain a discount forever. So you will actually get 25% off. Constant Contact is $20 a month. And with this program, only $15. Okay, there's no strings attached. There's no contracts. There's no commitments. There's satisfaction guaranteed, money back guarantee. So this is all about enabling people to be able to take advantage of the information that we provide through these SBDC and SCORE events. But then we want you to be able to put it into action. Knowledge on ice does nothing. We want you to be able to get out there, have fun with it, have a marketing co-partner, get hundreds of dollars of bonuses to kickstart you into action. And you can claim this at a special website, claimeventpromo.com. I'm going to type it into the chat as well, claimeventpromo.com. This is what it looks like. And now let's get to your questions. All right, Janet, I don't know if you want to come back on with me, but I'm going to touch the dashboard here and see what people are asking.
Yeah, so you've got things that are showing up in both the chat and the Q&A. So where would you like to start at?
All right. Chat number 1. What if you already made a bad first impression? I love it. With plain emails or mass marketing, or the audience is uninterested, is there a way to recapture them? And then she mentions QR codes. I'll answer that separate. Okay, so yes. This is so common, y'all. Do not feel bad if you've already sent 10 newsletters, 1 per month, and all of them said, newsletter October 2018, newsletter November 2000, or maybe you sent two salesy emails, 3 salesy emails in a row, and people started tuning out. Okay, the way to fix this is work really hard on the content in the email to make it fun and interesting. But the way that you win them back over is through your subject line. So I want you to think fun, interesting, intriguing, and curious. What subject line could you use? And by the way, Constant Contact will let you also create the other lines of text in the preview pane. If y'all look at your cell phone in your inbox, you'll see there's a subject line and there's 2 more lines of text under it. Constant Contact lets you write those whole snippets. So you will win them back over by using a really fun subject line and pre-header snippet that gets them to open it again, so that when they do open it, they say, oh, this is so different. Yeah, this is fun. This is a cool video that they shared from someone else, or this is a great, cool, authentic, holiday wish, or whatever it is. And the same person also said, I have used QR codes to drive people to a landing page for a promotion. Excellent. That's very cool. So you could make that your opt-in form. You absolutely should do that. That's a great idea. I once found myself in the parking lot of a Wyndham hotel at 5:30 in the morning, getting ready to drive home from somewhere, and I couldn't even help myself. There was a landscaping truck next to me with a giant QR code on the side. I scanned and it showed the most beautiful little video of this guy who had done a mountain home garden with running water and running waterfalls, and and I'm standing there in the parking lot going, yep, it got me, QR code, because it was so easy. I scanned it. So yes. Next question. Would the original poster get mad at you for sharing their info, even if you credit them? Okay, no, they would not. The only exception is the tiny fraction of the internet that is copyrighted, and they are sites that usually make it uncomfortably clear at the top and the bottom, no sharing, no copy, this is copyright, and this is private privileged information. About 99.9% of the internet is one gigantic party, and the result, or the desired result, for everybody who's sharing onto social media and everyone who's posting on their blog is that they would receive visibility. When somebody shares onto Facebook, the desired result is lots of people get to enjoy it. When a business puts out a blog, the minute they hit the publish button, they quickly shift into the mode of, oh gosh, I wonder how many people are going to get to see this. So when you as a business owner pivot and say, oh, I'm biting my nails to figure out what to send, and then you share their post on social, or you put their blog in your email and make a comment about why you enjoyed it, why the list would like it, that person wins. It is a multi-way win. And yes, to your point, the same person says, aren't you undermining yourself a little bit by sending people to other websites versus sending them to your own? Absolutely, but we're talking about two different things here. The 2 out of 10 people are ready to rock and roll with a blog. 8 out of 10 of us are stressed out beyond belief, and we're super late on our to-do list, and we're trying to keep it together and be top performers. So the idea of saying, well, I'm going to either get this blog started right now or as soon as I can find time, or I'm not going to share anything, definitely don't do that. Share, curate, have fun with it. Leverage other people's content. They'll love you for it. And then graduate yourself to having your own content when you're ready. And I'm going to keep talking fast like a game show host so that I can get everyone's questions answered, okay? The next question, how can one send emails when starting out? I do not have an email list. I run a food business. I'd like to reach out to families, businesses downtown. Thanks. Love it. Love this question. Okay. Everybody starts with 0. Everyone's list starts at 0. So the best thing to do is to start with maybe just your own personal contacts and maybe a couple handfuls of contacts that you know from your business community. Maybe through your network, through the SBC events, through trade shows, collect some business cards. Now, here's another thing. Y'all, every single person on today's webinar should be collecting email addresses from your website. And it should be incredibly simple, fast, and easy for people to see how they can join your list and why they should join your list. In fact, the number one pain point of web marketing is people coming to your website and leaving without taking an action, and you as the small business owner or the nonprofit, you then have no action to take yourself, to no recourse. They come, they look, they go, thieves in the night, and you're there twiddling your thumb going, I hope we get action soon. When you put the email capture as a central component of your website experience, you're capturing those prospects into a list that you can then continue to drip great content to, continue the conversation, and convert them into a sale or even just a prospect or a nonprofit supporter. So it's okay to start small, 5 or 10 people on your list. Let it grow. Get a few people at a time from your website. Get a few people at a time from local events. Have great content that people will share with others. Post your email onto social media and let people that see it on social media choose to join. All right, next question. What if you, and we're going to do it. We only got 2 left. We're doing it. What if you have a business where people purchase at most once a year, give or take? How often should you be emailing your subscribers? Wonderful question. I love it. It's almost like these questions are like from a little handbook of mindset stuff. Okay. You should still be emailing your list, I would say, at least once a month. Because it's all about, and it's not about the internet, it's about marketing psychology. It's about TOMA, TOMA, top of mind awareness, or FOMA, front, you might have heard that, front of mind awareness. How quickly someone can pull you into recall without effort. This occurs by staying in front of them. And so by having them visit your website, see you on social media, and then as I've painfully kind of over outlined today, email is your main visibility point. When they see you, even if they know they don't need to buy, it keeps you front of mind so that they're ready to when the time comes, or they're front of mind so they can refer people to you. Now, if your emails every month are just reminding them what they're going to do in 8 months, what they're going to do in 7 months, what they're going to do in 6 months, then no, that's not a good. You want those emails to be fun, interesting, maybe not, valuable, good content, so they get the impression that even though they're only buying with you once a year, that you're kind of there in the sidecar. You're kind of there along for the ride a little bit. You show up every once in a while. You give them some value, some short, sweet value in the inbox, and then you're gone again. So front of mind awareness. Next question, last question. What if you have a business where people purchase at most? Oh, nope. Last question. Taking advantage of the constant contact offer. If your logo changes, will your template be updated? Yes. Yes, it will. Not only does the system have a wonderful spot where you can swap the logo in and it automatically reads it into the email, but I personally, whenever I help somebody capture the marketing package, I personally always make sure that I kind of put myself on their list. They can send me questions, they can chat me online, and I kind of become like a ghost helper, a ghost marketer, kind of a little guider, helper there, as much as you would want that. So, people still from 2 years ago on a seminar or in a webinar signed up, and I'm still on their list, and they still say, hey, can you help me out with this? And I'm happy to do it. It's a lot of fun for me. So
Okay,
again,
Aaron.
and at the website showing here, and I'm going to pass it back to Janet.
Aaron, actually, if you see it at the bottom of your dashboard, there's the Q&A. You see
Yes.
that? So there's some additional questions there. So if you'll take a quick look at those.
I sure will. Yes. Good. Here
Thanks.
we go. How to keep the email out of the recipient's junk box? Okay. The number one thing you can do is to use an email marketing platform like the Constant Contact or the Chimp or the Infusionsoft or the whatever you would want to use as a main platform. The very point of using email marketing platforms like these is deliverability. So that's kind of it's an easy answer, but then you also want to be careful with your subject line. Don't put a lot of capitals, exclamation points, free this, free that. Don't be super crazy loud where you could be misunderstood as spam. So yeah, that's that. Deliverability is definitely part of the reason people would even use a platform like this. Second question, are these bonus package options available to those of us who already have Constant Contact? Well, yes and no. Obviously, we can't do the discounts and the stuff like that, but what I do is offer what's called a free account review. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are on the webinar who use Constant Contact. It's a massive company, helps many, many hundreds of thousands of businesses. So if you want to, when you receive the follow-up, if you want to let me know that you would like to have your own bonus package, it's going to include an account review. The account review means that I'm going to go in there and do a consulting rundown on your email marketing and give you a whole list of things that, yes, this looks great, or consider doing this, or did you know about this feature? Try doing that. All the stuff that I would typically charge consulting clients for, I just do that for free for people who already have Constant Contact, because why would you not, get help too? Love it. So just make sure you let me know that and all the follow-up that's going to go back and forth, and we'll get you taken care of. How long should an embedded video be? It depends on your goal with the video. The shortest videos that are 1 to 2 minutes get the most people looking at them and watching them all the way to the end. But if you're curating a video that's meant to be maybe inspirational or fun or demonstrative, how to how to stain and seal a picnic bench. That might by default be an instructional video, might be longer. So, keep in mind, if you want them to fully digest the video and take an action, 30 seconds to 120 seconds. But if you're looking to give them just valuable content, don't restrict it based on it not being short enough. Just share it. Look on YouTube, and if you see a video that has 342,000 views in 3 days, it's a safe bet, no matter what the length is. And Constant Contact does let you simply copy and paste the link to a video, and it creates a nice screenshot of the play button. And when they click it, it opens the video and plays it for them on the web.
Yeah. I think that was our last question.
Yeah, and I'm super long, so I can't believe I did it in only 5 minutes.
That's okay. Well, Aaron, we want to thank you so much for sharing such the valuable information, and thank all of you for joining us for today's webinar. I will be forwarding the recording of today's event to you all. Aaron, do you want to share that promo information with me and I'll forward it on, or I can also let you do that individually if you'd like?
Sure. I think what I'll do is maybe I'll just send out one email to the attendee that has both a copy of the ebook for free as well as a reminder for how they can claim the SBDC package.
Okay, that's great. I just want to let everyone know that as you close your browser, you should be taken to a page of our short evaluation form for today. We appreciate you for taking a moment to fill that out for us. Again, if you'd like to meet with a consultant here in Louisville one-on-one, just connect with us via our website, louisvillesmallbusiness.com. Anything else, Aaron, you'd like to say?
No, I just am really, really happy I'm so glad that I got to be here with you all today. Great. And I'm very open to questions. Don't be shy. Don't feel like you're bothering me. If you want to send me a private message, I'm happy to help and guide y'all. And I saw that we have tons of people on here today, so really excited.
Yeah, excellent. And we will be inviting Aaron back probably in the early summer for another subject matter. We'll keep that under wraps until then. But again, thank you, everybody, and have a great day. Thank you, Aaron. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you, Janet. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.